So I'm up on the mezzanine and I'm foil taping everything, all holes, all gap and sealing as much as I can. On this ceiling anyway, I'm going to put a green Vapour Control Layer, but I'm just belts and braces for everything. So any holes that I've drilled through with the spacers to hold the insulation boards, any edges where the insulation boards meet the purlins or meet another insulation board, I'm just taping everything. I've also put on a couple of bits of plasterboard, which is very exciting. This is an old bit of plasterboard that I was given, so thought I may as well use it here. I might have some problems up at the top here just because whoever put the insulation in, me, it was my first go at that, and it protrudes in places, so there may be problems there, but we'll see. So once I've silver foiled all of the gaps and holes in the ceiling, I'm then going to install the Vapour Control Layer. You could argue that I've already done the Vapour Control Layer because all things are sealed here, but I am going belts and braces on this job, and so I'm going to install a Vapour Control Layer as well that I bought online. It costs about £100 more, and that includes some of the tape. So this is the butyl tape that I've been provided with, and it's double-sided sticky tape like this and super strong. I'm just going to lace the ceiling with it on the joists. The idea being is that when you then screw in the plasterboard screws, if it penetrates this, then it will still maintain the seal because it sort of locks around the butyl tape. It's a specific type of tape for that job. Whether or not I'll hit this tiny little strip of butyl tape is here or there, probably not, to be honest. But that's what I've got provided. So I've spent about £50 on tape, £50 on the control layer itself. Hopefully that'll be at least enough to do the ceiling. And then if I have enough, I'll do the walls as well with that layer. So once I finish this, I'll put the sticky stuff up, and then the next video you'll see is me putting in the green Vapour Control Layer. So I'll seal it at the top and then seal it down at the purlins, then start at the purlins down to the eaves. Okay, so this is the Vapour barrier that I'm going to be using. It's made by a company called Novia, and I've gone for a 500 gauge virgin poly Vapour check. It's about 50 quid for the roll. I'm hoping that'll do me, certainly for the whole of the ceiling, and as I say, if I've got more to do the sides, for the sides, I'll also do the walls as well. So I'm going to stick it up with the butyl tape. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start by measuring out and cutting some of the Vapour barrier to the depth of the reveals on the skylight. There we go. So then I've got this butyl tape. I'm going to put it all around the edges on the foam, right up to the edge where the plasterboard actually inserts into the frame itself. And I'm going to put it all around the sides as well. And then I can cut it and peel it back, creating a nice seal all the way around the window. I started by putting the butyl tape all around the reveal. Once the butyl tape was in place, I then peeled off the white backing layer. I then worked my way around, pulling the Vapour Control Layer over the sticky tape and then working from one end to another. I then made a series of cuts for the corners and did the same, making sure it was nice and tight all the way around. Where the Vapour Control Layer overlapped, I used again some butyl tape and then went over the top with silver tape just to be sure. And here's the end result. Pretty happy with how it all looked. On to the next job. So I tackled the purlins next, using the butyl tape just to run alongside the top and the bottom of the purlins. I then ran the butyl tape up and down where the rafters were. The idea is that obviously then when I drill into those, when I'm attaching the plasterboards, that the butyl tape will seal around the hole. Then finally, I put the butyl tape around the holes that I'd cut for the downlights. So all the butyl tape is now in place, so running up all of the rafters. My hope is that the screws will hit the tape, but there's no great shakes if it doesn't. And then I'm ready for the Vapour Control Layer. So here we go. There was a definite knack to putting the Vapour Control Layer on the ceiling. So I started in the apex each time and worked my way along bay by bay. The really important bit was not taking off any of the white strips until I absolutely needed to, because as soon as the Vapour Control Layer stuck to that tape, it was stuck fast and there was no way of pulling it back off without making a real mess. When it came to the skylights, I cut 2 diagonal lines, then folded these flaps back up into the recess. Down at the purlins, I simply cut off the excess just below the butyl tape. So the Vapour Control Layer is now installed in the apex, the vaulted ceiling. So all around the skylights, sealed along the purlins just there. Obviously the wires coming out for the spotlights, and then sealed all the way around the edges of the skylight itself. For the downlight holes, I cut 2 diagonal lines in the Vapour Control Layer, then use silver tape just to seal it all the way around the hole. So you've got the seal around the outside here with the black butyl tape, obviously with the Vapour Control Layer, and on the inside I've simply folded those flaps back, and then it's all expanding foam sealed anyway, but then just put this to seal the Vapour Control Layer insulation underneath. And here's the downlight holes once I'd sealed them all up. Really happy with them. For the skylight holes, I then cut off the triangular flaps and then began sealing them back up using the silver foil tape. I'm installing the Vapour Control Layer, and obviously it needs to go above and below this purlin, which makes things a little bit challenging. And through trial and error, I've already done one side, finally figured out a really good way of installing this Vapour Control Layer. So the first step is to run the tape, the butyl tape, all the way along the top on the underside of the purlin. And then I do these vertical strips down each of the rafters. And then I also run a strip of it down the bottom. The key is to only take off the backing to make it sticky only when you need to. If you take it off and you stick this stuff to it incorrectly or in the wrong place, that's it, it's game over. The whole run of tape is ruined and it will become all a big blob. So only take off the bits that you're going to apply. Then you start at the top, you're going to pull it tight along this section here, get someone else to sit over there. My dad's been helping me today. He's sat over there, I'm sat over here. I attach it up in this corner and then run this line up here as taut as possible. Then working your way from this side to that side, just take off each one of these as you go and then pull it nice and tight over. If you don't do it this way, as we found out over there, it becomes uneven, it becomes crumpled, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So it's a really good idea as well to leave yourself plenty of extra on the end, just in case you do misjudge it ever so slightly. So as you can see behind me here, I've got my Vapour Control Layer all in place on the ceiling, and I'm undecided as to whether to put it down the walls or not, but installing it on the ceiling has been quite challenging. We've now got a pretty good technique. It was far easier with my dad here. We were able to stretch it across a little bit more. Makes the whole process a lot easier, but it's all up now on the ceiling, and it goes all the way over. So obviously, because we've got the purlin in place, it's not one continuous sheet, but we've used the butyl tape along the top here and on the underside as well. As good a seal as any. And these vertical strips down here are just where the roof rafters come up, and the idea being is that when we put a screw through, it will go straight through that butyl tape and actually self-seal thick. It'd be far better if it was double the thickness here. Maybe I'm just not that accurate, but I can't see that every single screw is going to go through into that. So I think maybe if I ever do this again, I'd want a tape that's double thickness, just to allow for any lateral movement in the screws. So this is the gable end window. I'm just putting in a Vapour Control Layer just around the outside. So I've put in the butyl tape around the perimeter of the window itself, and the butyl tape is sat where I'm going to be drilling in. It's already got, the Vapour Control is already controlled by this, but I just wanted to, I had loads of this left and I had some of the butyl tape, so I thought, well, I may as well create a Vapour Control Layer within the window itself. So that's why I'm installing it. So I've put the butyl tape all around the edge of the window, making sure that some of the butyl tape touches the frame of the window. I then repeated the process with the Vapour Control Layer, taking off bit by bit of the white backing tape to adhere the Vapour Control Layer to the butyl tape. So there it is, the Vapour Control Layer around the window. A little bit more taping to do and I'll start boarding. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified when the next video goes live. Thanks for watching.